Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Bob Miller with another edition of the Practice Gratitude Success Show. And boy, are you in for a treat today. Oh my God. I just got off a call a few minutes ago with our guest here today, and she blew everybody away. She was I mean, I'm not even going to say who it is yet. Well, you know who it is. You know who it is. But she was so amazing. And, this whole show is all about practicing gratitude success. Now, the people I named today, this morning, I named four people. I named a fellow who's been on the show twice in this past week, Mycle Brandy. He's a four-time stroke survivor who's walking across America, wants to do it for his fourth time. I mentioned a lady I met last night for the first time, Kathy Cato, and her son, his name is Billy Covey. Now, the reason I mentioned those people is because she messaged me last night, and she said she found me on my stroke support website or Facebook page called Stroke Suck because I posted a video about Mycle Brandy. And all this is going to tie into our guest here today. And the reason why is because Mycle Brandy, we're trying to get him onto the Ellen show because he wants to walk across America one more time. So the reason I mentioned all of this stuff and leading into today's guest is because of the community. It's about alignment. We've been talking a lot about that, about the people that you surround yourself with and how we can impact each other. And then that leads me to my guest today, who just is talking about that, Angel Balichowski, and she's got a little guest with her today as well. Angel, welcome to the show today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Yes, I have a guest. He lasts throughout the call sometimes, but I was worried that he might not last through this, so we might have him as a visitor every once in a while.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Welcome. Now, what is his name, Angel?
This is Jace. He is 3.
He's 3 years old. That's amazing. That's so awesome.
And he's hiding.
We want to see him. The world wants to see him. That's so cool. Hey, Angel, I was just talking about into the introduction about community and about the reason it's how powerful it is to hang around with people who inspire you. So now, usually I always ask about who you're grateful for right off the bat. So then, let me start off with that. So, who are you grateful for? And then I'm going to go into the other part of what I want to talk about. So, who are you grateful for in your life?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, it's God, right? It's my faith, and second to that is my kids and my family and the people that I've met online. The friendships that we've made online are stronger than than most of my friendships that I have in where I live. And, I've got a couple of great friendships, but these trump a lot of them just because of the support and because of the kindred spirits. The ability to be yourself is so important. And so I'm so grateful for this community. I'm grateful for people like you, Bob, who are out there all the time reminding us to be grateful every morning. When I see your videos in the morning, it's like, right, that's the important thing, because sometimes we get caught up in that. But yeah, so it's God, family, and this community for sure.
That is amazing. And these friendships that we forge online really are, they're real people. It's not like people say, well, get off online and get some real friends. These are real friends. These are real people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I haven't had a chance yet to meet I haven't had a chance to meet anybody yet. But this August, I'll be going down to Austin there. So I'm so excited to meet people face to face that you just love and adore and just actually physically see people, right? So yeah, it's real relationships, real friendships. And, I've shared things with people online that I haven't shared with people that I know here. So it's incredible.
Yeah, exactly. Now today I just got a bonus because you just did the Doug Fireball show this morning. He comes on every morning at what time zone are you in, Angel?
I am Central.
You're Central Time. Okay. So he comes on at 9 o'clock Central Time every morning for about 10 minutes. And Angel always usually introduces him. Her and Jackson Kelly introduce him most of the time. And then he comes on, he does his thing. He's on maybe 3-4 times a week. And then sometimes Jackson goes on and talks for 10 minutes. And sometimes Angel does. And today I had a bonus because I get Angel today. And Angel's like, oh my God. I said, Angel, I hope you saved some of what you just said a few minutes before today's show.
Thanks, Bob. I love that call in the morning.
I'm writing notes as fast as I can here, and I'm trying to get the show ready at the same time. but you
Awesome.
blow, Angel, you blow me away. I mean, I swear to God, you blow me away with what where you are right now. Because I mean, I've known you for a couple of years now. And I've always respected you. I've always admired you. I mean, you're a really cool person. But I've seen a radical shift in you. I don't know, maybe over the past 6 months, 8 months, whatever. I mean, before, we don't always notice things from other people, but I've noticed something different in you lately. And do you notice that in yourself? Can you
Oh, yeah.
can you share that? What transpired with you? What happened?
Well, I guess it's definitely my self-image, just like I talked about this morning.
Right.
Always for the first, I mean, I've been in this industry for 3 years, and yeah, I mean, the biggest shift has been in the last year, and it's a little bit of handing over everything to God. It's a little bit more of having faith that I don't need to be in control of everything. And then it's really coming out of my own shadow and allowing people to see what I know that's on the inside. I've always had a real struggle with keeping myself little. And I don't mean that I don't mean it in a way where I think I'm big. I knew there was always something in me that I wanted to be bigger and do more in the world. But I always kept that down so that people felt comfortable around me. And so I always felt like I couldn't let out who I was, or that I guess I was afraid of the judgment that might come too as well with that, right? You know that people are talking and thinking, and now I just don't care. And so I let go of that. I let go of really caring at all what people thought about me. I've listened to so much personal development and worked with Dr. Doug now. He's been a mentor now of mine for over a year, almost a year and a half. So he has just been a huge impact in my life and really brought out, when you have someone come into your life that sees the inner you and wants to bring that out of you, and he was probably one of the first people in my life besides my grandparents and my dad that really saw that in me. And so it's helped to really bring that out. And it was like, okay, I can be me. And so, yeah, that confidence is definitely building. And I've been able to turn it into a way now where I know that if I'm impacting lives, I don't need to be afraid of being that big person, because as long as I change someone's life at some point in my life, then it's worth it, right?
Exactly. It's and if you're doing something, if you're out there doing something, you are going to be criticized. People are going to say, well, for whatever reason. But I just love what you said. You don't care.
I don't care. I stopped caring. I don't care what anybody thinks anymore. And that's freedom. Like it's huge for me. It was a huge change. No, we need that, baby. But yeah.
It really is freedom, and in fact, first of all, you said you turn it over to God. I mean, so you gave God first. You went to give it to God first. A lot of people do that. A lot of people give it to God, but yet they still don't have the confidence. They still don't believe in themselves. They think there's some mystical guy up there that's pulling wings off of butterflies. God is like he's judged. God, he maybe give something good to somebody here, or maybe not give it to somebody over there. What's your take on that? Where like about your self-image and God being in control? How do you deal with that?
Well, definitely, I studied the Bible a lot more and identify with what God says about who we are, and I believe that if you're at that point where you feel like you're not worthy, that's when you absolutely need to ask for that help and just say, you know what, I obviously can't do this on my own, so I need you. And I really got to a rock bottom point where that's where I was at, where it was like, okay, I'm not doing this right, so I need you. And that's when he just swoops in and is like, don't worry, I got this. And things just start to happen. You start to feel better. And that's what he's there for. He's our Father. And I think sometimes for me, it was the shift of thinking, what would I do for my kids if I could give them anything they want? I would do anything for them. And he loves us more than that. So why, he's there to do all of those amazing things that we would do for our kids at a way higher level. So yeah, that's what I would suggest for people.
Okay. It's like what you would do for your little guy right there, right? I mean, you would do anything. You would do anything for him right there. And that's how God is for us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Now, what do you think about God like leading you towards people or situations or opportunities. What's your take on that?
Oh, I think I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for him doing that in my life. I think when you believe, when you speak those things, that I know that God is leading me to the right people, I know that opportunities are coming, I know that doors are flying open, those things are happening. And he has everything lined out for you, and you just got to listen. You got to listen to that voice. When I realized that my gut was God's voice, like that, he talks to me way more. He talks to all of us way more than we realize. All those instincts, all those feelings that we have, those prompts that we have to talk to someone, those times where we think of someone and all of a sudden they're messaging us, that's God at work. And so you can't ignore those situations. And when you start to be so aware of that and aware of his presence in your every second of your life, and you walk with him and he guides you, and everything, I believe that our lives are here, that he can design the entire thing. Every day can be designed by him if you just let him.
And it's so important, like what you said, we have to listen to that voice, because we don't always listen to that voice.
Yeah. Or we're afraid to, right? And I think that's those leaps of faith into that voice where you're like, but I don't really want to do that. That's when he blesses you like crazy. So you've got to take those chances and be willing to be a little bit bigger and get into that uncomfortable zone like we talk about, right?
Right. Or we start looking at the situations. If things are working right, we say, well, woe was me. Why is this happening to me? I guess God doesn't love me, or he is that guy that's pulling wings off of butterflies.
Yeah.
He's pulling off my angelic wings right now. So Angel, I remember, I think it was on Jackson Kelly show, shared something that a lot of people maybe don't know about you, but something that wasn't real positive happened in your family's life not too long ago. Would you feel comfortable sharing that?
Oh yeah, for sure. We went through, my husband had an accident at home that put him out of work, and it happened at home. So we didn't get any help. Like there was no coverage, and he didn't have any benefits at work. So we went from, and I had just been laid off like 2 weeks before this happened. So we went from a 2-income family to really like a quarter of an income. And it's not like we were ever well off to begin with. We were just making it by then, right? Because I'd always wanted to be home as much with the kids. So I worked as little as possible. We needed the income from me, but I worked as little as possible so that I could be with them as much as I could, right? So we went through some dark times, and that is definitely when God stepped in. Like I said on Jackson's show, we were in the grocery store one day with $65 to feed a family of 4. And I was just like, how is this happening? What am I supposed to do here? What is this supposed to teach me? And there were some long days and lots of phone calls from people wanting money, and just, it takes a long time to get through that. And it takes a lot of faith again, right? Because I could have cried myself to sleep every single night, but I didn't. I knew that there was better coming. I knew that if we were faithful through that he was going to bless us. And now I'm turning that around. Like it's amazing what God will do with that, because now I'm in talks with a friend of mine. We're going to start a fund here for women who are in that situation, who don't, at one point we were told by our government, like we had a pension that we could have withdrawn on, but it was locked in. It's all government stuff, whatever, red tape, right? So they wouldn't let us have that money. But at one point we were told to go to the social assistance office if we were struggling so bad. And I was like, wow, they would rather us live on government funding than give us our own money that could totally save us out of this situation. So we're going to start a fund where when people are in that situation, they can be like, hey, I just need $300 for groceries. Can I get that? And they're given it without question, without ridicule, without making them feel like they've done something wrong, right? So that's what we're going to move on to doing. And I think when you can relate to those situations, you can be an impact in people's lives who are going to be going through that. And it was hard. My kids learned a lot. I think now that we have are able to are out of that, I feel like I want to remind them of how hard it was. It's like, just remember, be grateful that we're not there anymore. And they can't do that, but I know, right? I'm grateful for every day that I'm not in that year anymore.
Right, exactly. That years old, but the memory is there, and you know, and that's why they always talk about, you know, we're not going to have rainbows unless we have the rain.
Yeah. So true. And sometimes it pours, but that just means bigger blessings.
Exactly. If you stay the course, if you believe in yourself, because sometimes there's a lot of people that will still wallow in it. It's like a corkscrew going down, and they'll stay there. They'll just stay in the poor "woe was me" thing, and they'll just
Yeah.
believe it. And that's why I think your message this morning was so powerful, because you talked about your self-image, about believing in yourself. How do you see yourself? Because if you don't see yourself as successful, right? I mean, then you won't be, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so true. You have to believe that you can be what you want to be. And I think that's what holds so many people back, is that they want to be that person, but inside they just don't identify with that. They identify with that blueprint of that self-image that's holding them back. And sometimes there's things in people's lives that they just don't want to deal with. And I think that you know, it's hard to deal with those things, but you just have to. It's one of those personal breakthroughs that you have to do. If you really want what you want to have accomplished in your life, you've got to face those bad points and just let it go and forgive it and just say, it's gone. I can be who I want to be. And it's hard, but it's steps that need to be taken.
It isn't just honesty. It's being honest with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Honesty and loving yourself. Loving yourself enough to get over that.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, and really loving yourself, just like you would love a wounded animal or a child that's out there. We have to do that to ourselves. We have to love ourselves.
Yeah.
Then God directs us towards the doors, and it's up to us whether we open them or not, right? I mean,
exactly.
So how did this whole Doug Fireball thing unfold into your life?
That's another God thing. I guess I'll just talk about God the whole time, because pretty much everything that's happened in my life is God. It was so funny. All I did was Bert was on, and I shared that Bert was on the Doug Fireball show. I was like, Bert's on the show, everybody. And the next thing I know, Doug's saying, Angel, you should be on the show. And I was like, oh, that would be so awesome. And in my mind, I'm thinking that's never going to happen, but it happened. And then it happened over and over and over again. And I was keeping it quiet, because back then that was actually right when everything was going on too, right? So it's like, I did not feel worthy enough to be sharing that I'm on Doug's show. So I kind of kept it to myself. And yeah, and then it's just evolved into this, you know, I used to sweat before I would go on. I used to shake. I used to, you know, like you would, after the call, I would be just like, it was like I had run a marathon, because I was like, oh my gosh, I hope that was okay. And it's funny, now I'm excited, and now you just hop on, and it's like you have this conversation on the radio, and you kind of forget that people are even listening. But so that's how it happened. It was just a fluke, me sharing it with the world that Bert was on, and it all evolved from there. And I think it's just, you know, I was meant to meet Doug and Jody. They were meant to be in my life. They're like my spiritual mother and father, right? So it was meant to be. It just was meant to be, and I'm so grateful for them.
It's all about being spiritually aligned. It's just, you know,
yeah.
like my guest tomorrow, who I saw on Jackson Christi Kelly's Sunday Night Live show, Priscilla McMillan.
Right.
You know, that's where I met her, and all. Now she's on like a regular on my Thursday show. It's like everything. Oh, these doors just open up when you turn it over. When you start following the right thing, when you start believing in yourself and raising your self-image and believing that you are worthy. That's so important. What you said this morning on the show, and what you're saying here right now, to believe that you are worthy and trust. Yeah. Just be honest with yourself. Love yourself. Trust in God. Trust in a higher source. And then take those actions, take those steps. If you don't take the steps, you know, great things hardly ever just come on and interrupt us. You
know, right? You have to be watching for them and be aware of when it's happening. And somebody like you, who pours out so much blessing into every single day, like, I mean, those blessings are just chasing you down, and being able to accept that and be like, okay, this is where things are going, is where the magic starts to really happen, right? And so, yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen for you with this next year.
Yeah, it is amazing. Now the show that he's on, the Millionaire Roadshow, will comes on like right after this show here. I mean, I kind of put my show in between the show we listen to in the morning, where you, Jackson, and a whole bunch of other people, and Dr. Doug usually gets on and talks. He's on it at 8 o'clock Pacific time for about 10 minutes. I get ready for this show like 8:30, and then boom, it goes into the Millionaire Road Show right after this one here. So,
right.
Being aligned with those kind of people and what they're doing, the people that they are attracting into their lives right now, is just to me, it's mind blowing.
Isn't it?
It's mind blowing. It's just everybody's kind of like feeding off each other. It seems like everybody's like, and I always talk about that. Well, we're all climbing the mountain of success. We're all climbing up there, and we're all doing it together. It's not just like, okay, Angel's up there, good for you, Angel. No, you're reaching down to pull other people up with you as you go up. And there's people above you that are say, hey, come on, Angel, and we're all kind of tethered on it with a big rope together. That's the way I look at it, like that.
So true. It is so true. And when you're in the corporate world, most of the time, like, it was fight for everything, fight for your word, fight for to not be blamed, fight to not, people are always pushing the other person down. And it's like, people have such a look down on the home business industry, and it's like, how is that right? If you only knew what goes on this side, like, we love each other, we help each other. If you're super successful, everybody's cheering you on, and if they want to bring you up there with them. So it's like, it's such a great world, and it's such a transition from that other world, that world that just keeps people on that hamster wheel. I don't know. It's great that we can be that voice and take people away from that, because it's not right. It's not right to just be out for yourself every single day.
Cooperation is instead of competition.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
When you're lifting, when you're always lifting each person up, and that's what's so cool. And now, I mean, we shared this yesterday. The other day we had Chris Schaus was on the show, and she says, "Is it okay if I share the company?" And I said, "Well, sure, Chris. I mean, why not? Would you want to share the company that you are with, that I also am with? Would you want to share that?"
You bet. I am with Asante Organics. We are an amazing team, and I am just blown away excited by what's about to happen for all of us in the next year. I was already passionate about health and wellness. I wasn't so much organic. We don't have a lot of options here where I am, right? And I hadn't looked into other companies that sold organic products. I really didn't realize how important it was. And then so when I started talking to Doug and Jody, and then started to do some research and had a conversation with Daniel, it was like, wow, okay, why don't we know about how important it is to be using organic products in our house? So now, I mean, the kids are all excited about Asante. They get their lollipops. We have all their products, and I'm just excited. I'm building my organic mommy brand, which I am super excited about that. And it's just going to be an amazing, incredible year. And I'm excited that we have all these leaders, that all of us I think, again, isn't it funny that all of us who are already hanging out are now going to be living this life together and going to be building this dream together. We're not all separate anymore. We're all in this great community and this great team where we get to support each other. So I'm blown away, excited. The other night I laid down with my daughter to put her to bed, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to cuddle with her, and I'm going to fall asleep and have a good sleep tonight. And I couldn't even sleep, because in my mind, all these things are going on. Well, I'm so excited about this, and I better go. I could go and do that. No, go to sleep. I couldn't even sleep. I had to get up, and I worked for 4 hours just because of the excitement of what's going on. So yeah, I just blown away excited for 2016 and 17 for us.
Yeah, I mean, just the people involved, the people like Priscilla McMillan, Ellen, Jackson Kelly, Chris Shelf. There's so many people that are taking us, and they're everybody's sharing, and that's what's so cool. And you show in the morning, I call it your show because it's Dr. Doug.
Yeah.
But it's like your show, because you always open it up most of the time. You and Jackson open it up most of the time. And before he comes on for 10 minutes, before Tiny Tim, before Howard pops on in the morning, there's like about 10 minutes of laughter and laughter. Alfredo, the different personalities come in, and we chit chat before the show, and I think that's where a lot of the juice is. And then when you guys come on, it's like bam! It's just amazing. So surrounding yourself with people are just I think is so important. To surround yourself with the right kind of people, because there's probably a lot of other good companies that are out there, I'm not an expert in the whole thing. I mean, I love the fact that they are 100% organic. I love that. I love their mission. I love the fact that they're connected, they're aligned with God. I love that.
Yeah.
Other companies might be too. I don't know. There's probably thousands of companies, but I just love people like you, people like Jackson, people like Dr. Doug, who is just always there, inspiring people, helping people climb up that mountain of success. It's just amazing to me.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great group. It's a great company. Definitely, like you say, being aligned with God and the fact that we know that this company is anointed is pretty powerful. Pretty powerful to know that God's hand is over us. And I honestly don't think there's any better company out there. I challenge anybody to show us that.
Now, this call that we're on first thing in the morning, this started when back in October. This call here. Right.
Yes.
How did that begin? Because you were just a guest on the Millionaire Roadshow, and how did this whole call? Did he come to you and say, "Hey, Angel, let's do this"? How did that work?
Yeah, I mean, he discussed with me that that was what they wanted to do for this coming year. That they wanted to have this community where they're empowering people. I mean, they used to have their Monday night webinar, right? That they always did, and right now they're a little bit too busy for that. So I think with Doug and Jody, they just want to pour out into people. It's like I think that they're like, I don't know, they're giving addicts, right? Like it's just in them to always be empowering and always be helping and always be bringing out the best in you. So when he said that that's what they were going to do, and he just asked me if I would mind, doing a weekly call and if that's something I would want to do. And I said, absolutely. And there's a little bit of fear in me, right? It's not something I've ever done before on a regular basis. And I'm a video marketer, but when you're video marketing, you're talking into a camera and nobody's watching you or listening to you right then, right? And you have no clue who's watching or listening later on. So it's not that intimidating. But this was like, okay, can I do this? Can I come up with content every week? Can I be good enough, right? Can I say every morning when I'm about to do the call, it's like, is this really good enough? I don't know. And then when I hear that it did impact, it's like, okay, it was. But again, that's just been me. On Tuesday nights, I sit down with God and I'm like, okay, what's it going to be? What's it going to be for tomorrow, right? I can't even do it any sooner than that because mentally I have to just have that time with him where he's writing it out for me. So it's a great call. I'm so thankful that it's there. It's just become so habit. It can't ever go away now. It has to be there.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Last year when I was doing all these, well, I'm still doing the gratitude videos. I haven't stopped, but people are saying, "Well, what are you going to do when you reach the end? Are you going to just stop?" I say, "Oh yeah, I'm just going to stop being grateful."
Yeah.
No more gratitude from me.
Done.
When you do something, it just becomes you. It not only does it become a habit or ritual, it just becomes you. You become it. You are it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's it's needed now. And I mean, it's awesome that we get to have fun and hear awesome personal development. And if you can't get to reading a book or hearing any other audio, or, I can't jump on here all the time because of my kids. So it's like, at least there's that little bit, right? That's starting your day.
Exactly. I look forward to it so much. Hey, so before we cut out, I got to talk about my guest for tomorrow, and also who inspires you, Angel? I mean, you mentioned Dr. Doug and Jody, but who? You mentioned God. Is there anybody else out there that really inspires you to get you moving?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated by Oprah Winfrey and Richard Branson. There's a couple, of network marketing ladies that I'm very inspired by. And, but yeah, I mean, this year I'm focusing more really looking at what big world changers do and what their values are, how they use their days, and really just, I really I want to do something big in the world. So I'm studying some people that have done something big in the world and figured out how they got there. So they definitely inspire me to be bigger and better all the time.
That's amazing. And we get that from the message that Dr. Doug says all the time. And, play big, put that little person back in the corner, the little boy chair, little girl chair. It's so cool. Hey, so tomorrow I have, every Thursday we have the Reverend Priscilla McMillan's going to be on, and if you want to talk about somebody that's really spiritually directed, come and listen to her tomorrow because she's amazing. and just check it out. And Angel, how can people get a hold of you? What's the best way that people can find you?
I have a blog, coffeewithangel.com, and on Facebook, it's Angel Balichowski. I'm the only one out there with that name, so it's not hard to find me.
Yeah, Bob Miller, same way. I'm the only guy out there, right?
Yeah, I've never heard that name before, ever.
Maybe on my street, I might be the only guy. I think there's another Miller now. But that's it, Angel. We got to go listen to the Dr. Doug Millionaire Roadshow. How do people find the Millionaire Roadshow? How do they find that today? How can they?
He has the millionaireroad.com now. I don't know if you can listen live there, but if not, gcnlive.com. There's the live player, and you can listen live every single day there as well. Thank you so much for having me, Bob. This is such a blessing. You're a blessing in my life, and I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you for letting me share a bit today.
Thank you so much. I'm so proud just to be in the angelic essence of you.
Right. That is such a hard thing to live up to. I'm telling you.
Okay, guys, listen, we'll talk to you later. Make sure you come here and watch some Priscilla McMillan and check out Angel. All righty. We'll see you later.
Thank you. Bye, guys.